Hola, amigos. This is Mr. G. Believe it or not, I'm growing my beard. Sending out a little reading to all of you. This is from my latest book called Mr. G's Battle Cry. La causa de la raza wants you. Okay, so this is all to all of you who are at home right now and wondering what you can do. I'm in my backyard, in my oasis, my Aztec oasis. This is a playground for my children, so I want you to enjoy this little story. This is just a introduction, an acknowledgement to one of my nieces in Texas, Long Live Texas. She's over there in Bernie, Texas. So I want to dedicate this to my little niece down there, Nia, for asking me a question, and I'll read you the story. So this is what happened. This manuscript is a tribute to all the inspirational men and women and youth who joined and marched in el gran movimiento chicano of la causa to demand justice and equality in fighting against the racial divide of bigotry and discrimination that existed throughout America and that still exists. This manuscript came to life as a consequence to a profound question posed by my 13-year-old niece, Nia Lopez from Texas. Her curiosity focused in trying to understand the lifestyle of the hippie phenomenon. Que viva Valentina! In the 1960s and the 70s. In tradition to better understand what protest marches and activities occurred in that time period, she unleashed in me a hailstorm of flashback memories of many explosive riots, luchas, marches, and activities I participated with. In retrospect, as I recall my past life, I am baffled and amazed by the immense perils we faced in overcoming an explosive, lopsided era in our quest for equality and justice. I was blessed to be born in an era of great enlightenment. Mr. G's Battle Cry, La causa de la raza wants you, is a cultural revolution relived, sparking an illuminating response to an innocent inquiry by my niece, Nia. Were you a hippie? Part of the hippie movement in the 1960s? What were your views on culture? How did you get involved? What protest marches did you participate in? This is my response to Nia. Your question is profound and needs to be answered in the same manner. We live the words you are about to hear me read in this amoshkli, this codices of the present. Many scholars around the world are bewildered to know and to understand who we were, we as Chicanos. They are scratching their heads in their ivory towers as they search in vain, analyzing and documenting our past actions. Our souls were captured in time, preserved in black and white, negative photos hanging in museum walls as we were beaten, tortured, and killed for simply demanding our freedom and liberation. As we marched in protest from out of the farm fields of America, from out of our educational institutions, and from out of our barrio homes, wearing only our ancestral huarachis, we felt the sun burning our backs, yet energizing our spirits. We saw our larger-than-life shadows begin to cast over the barrios, neighborhoods, before our bewildered, puzzled, shocked, and amazed, onlooking brothers and sisters, unaware of our bondage, who obediently and loyally worked for their masters, the man, los hacendados y los mayordomos, wearing pañuelos, handkerchiefs covering their eyes, too afraid to see the truth, too blind to see their suffrage, unable to feel the shackles holding them down, to content to be whipped, tortured, dominated, oppressed, meekly accepting their social status as beaten peasants. Esclavos forced to work on their knees, peones del patrón sin canzones. We were conditioned to accept our esclavitud until we courageously stood up to break our chains of bondage. We embodied Cesar Chavez's humble spirit to stand up to the power brokers of the world, so accustomed to expect our submissiveness and obedience. We sang our prayers to La Virgen de Guadalupe, seeking her protection from the bigotry and violence of the war machines, waving their cross and sword, forcing us to our knees, to submit to their control and way of life blindly, if we wanted to survive their spiritual genocide. We embraced nonviolence and love, ignoring the beatings and the relentless pain our aging backs had to endure, marching into the cold moonlight, forsaking our youth for hope. We ran with the wind, waving our huelga flags and our picket signs in front of Safeway markets, boycotting non-union grapes, non-union lettuce. We joined Cesar Chavez on his hunger fast at our universities, demanding our institutions to cease and desist in support of la causa de la huelga. I was blessed to be born in a generation that grew up during an era of infinite enlightenment, a period of innocence lost, blind to the wind that swept us up into the cosmos, a period of great self-discovery. We experienced a euphoric, liberating freedom, putting fear back on our oppressors. Only as youth we were able to understand as we jointly listened to the new musical songs containing subliminal messages only we could hear. No one could resist this cultural storm brewing in the universe that ignited within us. We felt the rippling effect of the goals laid out in El Plan Espíritu de Aztlán in the first National Chicano Youth Conference organized by the Crusade for Justice under the leadership of Corqui Gonzalez in March 1969, followed by the second Chicano Youth Conference in June, where El Plan de Santa Bárbara was drafted and adopted by raising Chicanada leadership, recruiting, enlisting us, charting out a definite reconstruction of a new educational program featuring Chicano studies as a core curriculum. Our new Chicano manifesto demanding that we defy our social norms and taboos of society, including the highest taboo of cross-cultural pollination. So we burned our military draft cards, notices, in the face of the establishment, taunting the police to do something about it, who remained stunned. Our sisters freed themselves by tossing their bras into the bonfires. We marched into the streets in protest. We walked out of our classrooms, challenging our educational institutions, demanding the implementation of bilingual, bicultural educational programs and to hire more bilingual Chicano and Chicana teachers. It was a period of great upheaval. Cats meowing, dogs barking, a unique time in tearing down the generational walls of racism, sexual taboos, gender discrimination, fighting the establishment, negating religious iconic symbols, yet embracing our ancestral cosmic spirituality of our denied culture, suppressed by the dominant society, hidden in the jungle ruins of Chichen Itza. It was a time of change. It was a time to question all authorities, from our parents to civic governmental leaders. It was a time to question our political leadership. It was a time to express our love against the military war machine spitting out bullets, killing innocent people in foreign lands. It was a time for peace, not war. It was a time to dance and sing under the sun. That was only just a little part of it. So es para todos ustedes. Enjoy it. May you find this book enlightening. So again, thanks to the master Chicano artist in Oxnard, the hardest working one, Luis Moreno. A big shout out to him for creating this composition for me and to include it in my book. So, para todos ustedes, viva la causa, viva la raza, and don't forget to fill out your census forms. Hasta luego.